Hey, y'all, I was having technical difficulties for a minute. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Listen, it's Thursday night trending topics, and y'all know the routine. We got stuff to talk about. Listen, Katrina, thank you so much for the super chat. I really, truly appreciate all of you. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Listen, we're going to get into it because tonight's topic is no protection. No protection. Yes, we got stuff to talk about. Tonight's topic is called no protection. We got this NICU nurse. So that's the neonatal intensive care unit. Okay, we got a NICU nurse. This chick, I gotta say, allegedly, was in the NICU with the most vulnerable babies ever. My son was in the NICU because he was premature. The most vulnerable babies ever. God bless and shout out to all the NICU nurses who are really, truly doing their job because it ain't no joke. They see some of the sickest babies you probably would ever see in your life. They see babies that literally fit in the palm of your hand. And because of these nurses working hard day and night, they are raising those babies up, saving lives, and letting those babies, nurturing those babies until they could get home and live with their parents. The real true NICU nurses are out there doing the darn thing. This chick allegedly was breaking bones of the babies. And it wasn't just babies. Even though they want to claim it wasn't racially motivated, it was the black babies. Yeah, she was going over to the black babies who are probably like 5 pounds, 4 pounds, 3 pounds. Little tiny things. Click, click. Breaking their bones. Unbelievable. But you want insult to injury? They suspended her for a year with pay. Imagine being kicked up in your house. We're not talking about disability pay because a lot of places disability pay is what, 66% of your earnings. They suspended her with pay. So she was kicked back, laid back at home, chilling for 365 days after she done broke baby's bones getting paid. Finally got arrested. And now they want to play in our face talking about they don't think it was racially motivated. The lies you tell, no protection. That hospital ought to be ashamed of themselves. We're going to talk about it tonight. We got stuff to talk about. And they should have revoked her license already. You better talk about it. Child, if I trip over my foot, they're going to revoke my license. It's messy. Then we're going to talk about this stalker nightmare. Listen, you think Diddy is just Diddy because he's rich? There's a whole lot of Diddy-like people out there. So you better watch out, beware, look behind your back, in front of your face, off to the side. You got to have eyes everywhere. Yes, you do. So this particular individual, he met the girl, he worked with her, kind of interacted with her 3 times. She let him know, okay, I understand you like me, but I got a man. He lost his natural mind. He started sending her filthy, nasty, dirty texts, and he didn't stop there. He came to her house, kicked the door down, and lost his natural mind. Eventually, he got arrested. But look at all she had to go through before he got arrested. Her boyfriend had to move in. They had to learn how to do karate so they could defend themselves. All off of some crazy man. People are crazy. but we're going to talk about it. Then we got Michael Rubin. So Michael Rubin, since 2021, and he said he heard Diddy was throwing white parties and they were successful and everybody was loving them and everybody wanted a coveted invitation to a Diddy white party. So he started throwing his own out there in the Hamptons. Guy have a nice piece of property. People were looking for these invitations. Some of the invitations now are worth $35,000 because he got a special artist to make the invitations. And now he wants to say that this year he's not throwing a party and he's, blaming it on Diddy because Diddy tainted the white party theme. Sir, if you never did anything crazy at your white parties, no need to stop them. So now because Diddy has tainted his white parties, nobody in this world can throw a white party? Like, stop. Sir, there isn't one reason why you turning this thing around. And I wish in 2025 people would just tell the truth and shame the devil. Because I'm going to be very honest with you. If I was in Hollywood, I don't know if I would throw a party in my house. I don't know if I throw a white party, a black party, a red party, anything party at all. Only people that will be coming to my house are my family and friends. Because let me tell you something. Even when you innocent, people try to, you got the regular folks, they leave your house, they try to trip over the ground and sue you for your insurance. So imagine as a celebrity, you got so much to lose. They coming in your house, they saying, oh, look at it, how much that painting? Oh, what this work? Next thing you know, you thinking the party went all well, you getting home the next day, and your lawyer calling you talking about so-and-so suing you. You like, what? What happened? What they said I did? What? Yeah, they suing you. No, I ain't fooling with these people. But he need to tell the truth. Don't be just blaming, because Diddy tainted the idea of a white party. No. Tell the truth. You're not throwing it because you don't want to be accused of nothing. Just let the people know. But listen, people, I'm going to bring the people on in the building because we got stuff to talk about. It is Thursday night trending topics, and the title is called No Protection. We got this NICU nurse, okay? Breaking the bones of the babies. Hot mess. We got a stalker nightmare, and we got Michael Rubin saying that he ain't throwing no more white parties. He will not have one in 2025. And then I'm going to give you a little update on that, what's his name? Stevens, Twitch the boss. Everybody is piping hot, pissy mad at that, what is it? The widow. Now you don't woke mama up. Now when you wake somebody mother up and they gotta speak, it's bad. It's problems, right? The mother said that she don't like the way this girl, she's appalled by the way this girl is trying to tarnish her son's legacy. And no matter how you feel about this Allison, I got to agree with the mother. This Allison is out of pocket, out of line, and there's better ways to make money. Not only was he your husband, but he's the father to your 3 kids. Where they do that at, girlfriend? And then somebody reminded me, when they did his autopsy, they didn't find all of those substances in his system. But she want to claim he's a straight up addict. Have you ever known an addict to be, an addict that was that bad, and then they die and they just their system is just clean? Or are you now trying to say that the coroner altered the autopsy? What's going on? Either way, though, his mother is pissed. Let me bring the people on in the building. Hold on one second. Hey, Wayne. Hey, Savannah. Hey, Katrina. Hey,
Hey
Tate.
Diva, hey panel, hey Tay Tay Wayne,
Hey.
Juliet, Savannah.
Hey, Jim. Hello.
So listen, y'all. Yeah, she wait, somebody what you say, Lexi? She could have written a kind of book. She could have written a kind of book if she was desperate for cash. She listen, let me tell you something. To be honest with you, books don't earn you that much money unless you're like what's the girl that wrote the Harry
Daniel
Potter
Steele, somebody
series?
like that, Daniel
That
Steele.
Daniel Steele, the girl who wrote the Harry Potter series. When you get to that particular level, right, then that's when you're making a whole lot of money on books. But usually these books like that, they're not raking in the cash like that, because this is an isolated situation, and not too many people now that it's a controversy around it. So now a lot of people might be curious, but even after the first couple of weeks and the curiosity falls off, it's not like she's going to rake in millions off of this book either way. That's why I'm saying to myself, it was just the wrong road for her to go down. It's not what she should have did in terms of her kids or her husband's legacy. So just to give this update, let me just share really quickly what the mother said. So let me see if I still have it here. I do. And then let me tell you, another friend of his came out and said he don't even believe that, that wasn't the Stephen he knows. Like what she's saying about him being like this whole, drug addict, so to speak. So Stephen Twitch boss mom appalled by hurtful drug addiction claims made by his widow, Allison. He doesn't deserve this, she said. So Mama Bear has entered the chat. Stephen Twitch boss mom, Connie boss Alexander, says she is appalled by her late son's widow, Allison's hurtful claims that her son had a drug addiction. Our family is absolutely appalled by this misleading and hurtful claims made about my son, Stephen Boss, she wrote on Instagram Thursday. Now, her words are interesting now that it's reading in my head. She said misleading and hurtful claims. That's interesting, but I'm going to carry on because, mama's in pain and I get this, right? The recent publications spreading untruths about Stephen have crossed every line of decency. And as his mother, I will not let these allegations go unanswered. We will not stand by while his name and legacy are tarnished, she added. And this is what she wrote. Our family is absolutely appalled by this misleading and hurtful claims made about my son, Stephen Boss. The recent publication spreading untruths about Stephen has crossed every line of decency. As his mother, I will not let the accusations go unanswered. We will not stand by while his name and legacy are tarnished. He doesn't deserve this, and the kids don't deserve this. For the last 2 years, I have remained quiet and away from the public eye to protect my family. My primary focus has been on healing and attempting to remain connected to my grandchildren. But when I read these dreadful claims about my baby, our beloved Stephen, I realize I could not stay silent any longer. Our family will ensure his name and memory are protected, and we are committed to defending his honor. And this is Connie Boss Alexander. That's his mother. Hashtag stand for Stephen. Hashtag Boss Family United. Hashtag LSLB. Hashtag LLSLB. Now, she was the wife, so I'm not quite sure what the mama thinks she can do, but I hear her. He doesn't deserve this, and the kids don't deserve this. Alexander says she has remained quiet in the way from the public eye to protect family following her son's December 2022 death by unaliving himself. My primary focus has been on healing and attempting to remain connected to my grandchildren, she said, referring to Allison and Boss' 3 children, Wesley 16, who Boss adopted, Maddox 8, and Dyer 5. But when I read these dreadful claims about my baby, our beloved Stephen, I realized I could not stay silent any longer. I read that part to y'all. And the family is committed to, his honor. That's mama. That's his brother. That's him. That's him again with mama. Seemed like much love in that family. Page 6 reached out to Allison for comment, but did not immediately hear back. On Tuesday, Allison revealed she allegedly found a cornucopia of substances, including mushrooms and pills and other substances, in Boy's closet after his death. It was a really triggering moment for me because there were a lot of things I discovered in our closet that I didn't know existed. It was very alarming to me to learn that there was so much happening that I had no clue about, the Mama 336 told People. That was them, I guess, in better times. Now, many of the friends are coming out and saying she never loved him. But listen, he chose her. The High School Musical dancer also claimed that the late Ellen DeGeneres show DJ alluded to being SA'd by a male figure during his childhood in several of his journal entries. After the interview, several of Boyd's close friends and relatives blasted Allison for airing out the late dancer's alleged drug use and for alienating them from the kids after his passing. Boyd's cousin Elle tweeted he wasn't an addict. He smoked weed and was actively trying to quit. He wasn't some junkie. She also claimed Allison would not let their side of the family see Boyd's children and that she allegedly made them sign NDAs to attend his funeral. It's a shame that she's keeping the children from the other side of the family. Courtney A.M. Platt also, said on Instagram that she was, appalled about what Allison was doing. She thought it wasn't right. She also accused Allison of dropping the boss' last name from her social media platforms 48 hours after he passed, and is publishing a memoir shamelessly sharing the pages of the late DJ's journal. I think putting pages of the journal in the book is just disgusting. Listen, Allison got some things she's going to have to deal with. I think just in the name of, the children, she probably shouldn't have went down this road, but here she is. Savannah, your thoughts?
My heart breaks for the mom, of course, and I agree with everything that the mother came out and said. If she really truly wanted to honor the memory and the legacy of Twitch, she would have did a book about their love story and their struggles, and we didn't need to know, or we still don't need to know about an alleged essay as a child, and these were his battles and demons to fight, and if she was his loving partner, she should have been there by his side and helped him get through it. I don't understand how they had this relationship, and they because they were all over TikTok and social media, and she now wants to us to believe, the public, that she's surprised that she found items in his pockets or in his closet, and I just think she's messy, and this makes her look insensitive and cruel, and I don't need to know about the book. I want to remember Twitch as he was, with that smile, infectious smile, and just always having fun when he was at Ellen, or So You Think You Can Dance. That's what I want to remember him as. And I always thought that this story there was something missing. I still don't believe we know all the truth of what happened, what led to his demise, running out the house and into traffic and all that. I think there's a lot missing here that we still don't know.
I feel that way too. And now, and I'm not saying she did anything, but now I'm giving the side eye to her whole story of him leaving, going to a hotel, her not knowing this, that, and the other. It's just a bit much. Katrina, your thoughts?
It's giving drifter to me. Um, and the dead can't speak. So how we know that stuff is his? The autopsy came back, toxicology came back. There was nothing in his system. So this man is a hardcore drug addict, but he's leaving substances in the closet and not using them. That's not a hardcore drug addict. That's not how they operate. Um, I'm not saying that she's lying, which I think she is lying, but allegedly. Because if he's a hardcore drug addict, he gonna leave the drugs there and go to the hotel and unalive himself. That don't make any sense. Like I said, the dead can't speak. Certain things, when a person dies, certain things people don't shouldn't have to know about that person. Those secrets went to the grave, and we did not have to know about everything that he went through. Especially you coming out trying to do a memoir or a book to
Mm,
get money, which he claimed is going to a foundation. But we know how these foundations work when certain people set them up.
mhm,
Like I said, I think that should have just went to his grave if that what he was doing. We didn't have to know that. Um, it's just going as a drifter to me. Everybody don't need to know everything about people. Same thing with Luther Vandross. We don't need to know Luther Vandross' history, his past, whatsoever. He's not here to defend himself.
mhm,
Let sleeping dogs lie. And this
mm.
man is gone. Let him rest in peace and leave him alone. That's all I got.
Thank you. Leo, your thoughts?
Hey y'all. Listen, I am of two minds for this. I
Mm,
really feel like the mother's pain. So this story says to me that Twitch's wife, Allison, is really not in contact with his side of the family. They're
yeah.
not seeing the grandkids because I would think that if you would take on exposing his life, that would be a conversation that you would have with the family, right?
Mhm,
You would have this conversation. It's not that you gonna do what the mother say, but you have a conversation with the mother, and y'all talk that through. That's not something that you would put on social media or put in a People article about the intimate things that went on within y'all's marriage. She does have a right to tell her story, and he is a part of that story.
mhm,
But to a beloved person, because just let's be clear. And when someone dies unexpectedly, right? I have my goddaughter. She is probably 35 now. Her husband died when she was 29
mhm,
unexpectedly. When she cleaned out his closet, she found all types of skeletons. She
mhm,
did not come through the family. She did not come to me and tell me the things that she found. Her mother, which is my BFF, told me the things that she found. It's not something, when you really love somebody, there's not a lot of people that know about the things she found in her husband's closet. You get what I'm
mhm,
saying? That's not something that you would just openly share with the public. She's of the social media age, my goddaughter, and she never went on social media and said, "Well, I found this in my husband's closet and an extra phone hidden in his shoe and all this other kind of stuff." Like, she never did that. So it to me, I feel like there's a disconnect. Like Savannah says, there's a lot about Twitch's story that's not being told. She's telling the sensational stuff that's
mhm,
getting her clicks and views. She's a
mhm,
selfish woman. And
mhm.
she's not thinking about her children. Like Twitch's family is her children's family too.
Come on now.
Ain't
Fact.
nothing she can do about that.
Right.
That's their blood too. And even like Katrina said, certain things that you just let pass with your loved one. You
Mhm,
just don't have to put it out there. Who says you have to? They didn't. They didn't. There's a lot about this story that just ain't clicking with me. It's totally off balance. It's totally off balance. I don't have enough information. And that's the thing that says to me, I'm of two minds of this. I can't say for certain that he may not didn't dabble and do and did these things. He may have he a human being walking this regular life. He had issues and problems, but it's not for her to put it out here on these streets and didn't talk to the family. She was foul for that. She was really foul for that. And
mhm,
and also too, I think it's been made a really big deal and people are talking about it. And I feel like that's what she wanted.
mhm,
And that made me not even want to talk about it either, because I mean, that's exactly what she wanted.
mhm.
She wanted to blow up his spot. That's that. I ain't gonna hold y'all no longer. Thank you, Diva.
Thank you. Julius, your thoughts?
You want to know what's so funny? She think she doing. This is something that just came to me. She thinks she's ruining the image of Twitch,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But now, with the family also saying you had them and his friends sign NDAs, how we're demanding accountability. Well, why not reopen the case into his passing? And since you so carelessly put it out about his trauma, what was really going on in the home? Because you clearly didn't care about your kids.
Mm.
Because now you have more emphasis into what happened to your husband or your alleged husband that you claimed to love while he was here, but now that he's gone, you don't care.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
And what's really grinding my gears is I think about what my mom and my auntie always say. Now you always know what's in your house.
Mm.
You mean to tell me you didn't clean? You didn't go through your closets and be like, oh, well, this doesn't fit me today. Like, well,
Mm-hmm.
you always know what's in your house. Now, in the very rare case, you don't. But yes, since this chick put out about his diary and everything else, you knew what was in your house. And you wanted to say this and that about him that had not only his mother, his brother, and his friend speaking, three people. One person who he also protected that was in his line of protection when he was in this life, his mama. You have her coming out. And I believe her when she says she didn't say nothing when he passed because she was awfully quiet. It's a miss. And so, you know what? Now you're going to be having people want your husband's passing to be investigated.
Mm. Thanks, Julius. Tay, your thoughts?
And then after his pass away, you gonna take the red wing off after he passed away. And then you got a new man too. But to me, you just are nothing but a gold digger who wants 10 minutes of fame for yourself about your husband, his diary.
Mm.
Girls, go sit down. Think about your kids. They gonna need you more than this book right here. Yeah, she's nothing but trash, a gold digger who don't love her husband at all. That's all, Diva.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
Diva,
you.
can I add one thing real quick?
Uh-huh.
Yo, Ellen, the DeGeneres, he was your boy. What's your 2 cents? Speak up.
Mm. A producer from the show did speak up and said he didn't know him and didn't feel like he was an addict like that. But it's a lot of people are speaking out. A lot of people are not happy at all that she is taking this route. Okay, let's go ahead and roll into our first story. It's this NICU nurse that is being accused of breaking the bones of NICU babies, even though they want to claim it's not racially motivated. But it's ironic that every family that happened to be impacted was a Black family. Let's get into this story.
Doctors Hospital, a county judge held NICU nurse Aaron Strotman without bond Friday. This after Henrico police charged her with felony child abuse and neglect and felony malicious wounding in connection with injuries a baby at the hospital sustained on November 10th of 2024. Now, during her arraignment, Stratman told the court she last worked at Henrico Doctors around Thanksgiving, but said she was still being paid. The hospital is calling her a former employee, but Stratman said she did not know she had been terminated.
This is an ongoing investigation spanning potential offenses committed in both 2023 and 2024.
Hospital officials say 3 babies were found with unexplained fractures in November and December of last year, and that is similar to incidents involving 4 other infants who were being treated at the same NICU in the summer of 2023. The hospital announced it was pausing admissions to the NICU right before Christmas.
This right now is one date of offense involving one child, but that is not precluding the fact that this investigation is ongoing and that we will continue to work on building cases if there is evidence present to build other cases to find if there's additional criminal culpability.
Family members of 3 of the 7 babies came to court Friday. They hugged and cried together as they met for the first time. Among them, Dominique Hackey. His son Noah suffered a fractured tibia while in the Henrico Doctors NICU in September of 2023. Child Protective Services founded Level 1 child abuse of Noah by an employee at the hospital, but CPS was not able to identify that employee. But according to CPS records obtained exclusively by CBS 6, Stratman was placed on paid administrative leave in 2023 after the hospital conducted an internal investigation into the initial 4 cases. At the time, she had worked at the NICU for approximately a year. She was not criminally charged at that time, and it's unclear when Stratman's suspension ended.
They failed. Strictly, they failed on multiple different levels with multiple different families, and they need to be held accountable as well, because that shouldn't have happened. If they were suspicious of some person enough to let them go, they shouldn't have brought them back. So that's on them. They failed. Simple.
Do you feel like the county failed, future babies that were in the NICU at that hospital?
When we talk about what happened back in 23 and in 24, we can look at it from a standpoint of not just the individual culpability, but if there was a systems failure.
So potentially there could be even criminal charges beyond just the person that committed the acts?
If there are individuals who need to be held accountable and we have the evidence to sustain that accountability, then we will pursue it.
HCA, which owns Henrico Doctors Hospital, sent us a lengthy statement, which you can find in full on our website. It said in part, "We are both shocked and saddened by this development in the investigation and are focused on continuing to care for our patients and providing support to our colleagues who have been deeply and personally impacted by this investigation." HCA did not answer any of our questions about what happened with the internal investigation back in 2023 when Aaron Stratman was placed on paid administrative leave at that time. In Henrico County, I'm Melissa Hippolyte for CBS 6.
That breaking news from Henrico County Court. That's where local nurses.
Incredibly sad. Okay. Yeah, they should sue the hospital. Hold on. I think I have another piece to this story. Is that it? Let me see. That's not what I wanted to show. I'll show this one, but it was something else I wanted to show.
Because then whatever that was done in the dark comes to the light, and sometimes you don't necessarily want to know what was done.
Dominique Hackey, the father of one of the Henrico Doctors NICU babies found to have broken bones in 2023, concerned that it has taken so long for justice.
I remember her being in the room. She was friendly. She answered questions, but she didn't stay and talk like the other NICU nurses did. She wasn't family like the other NICU nurses were.
He's describing 26-year-old Aaron Stratman, the nurse now in jail, charged with felony child neglect and felony malicious wounding related to a different baby in 2024. Stratman was put on paid administrative leave by the hospital for a year after the 2023 cases of NICU abuse came to light, and then was allowed to return in late 2024. Hackey saying the hospital should be held accountable as well.
Because that shouldn't have happened. If they were suspicious of some person enough to let him go, they shouldn't have brought him back. So that's on them. They failed. Simple.
HCA, the network that oversees Henrico Doctors Hospital, issuing this statement, saying in part it is shocked and saddened by this development in the investigation, and that the hospital is focused on continuing to care for its patients. Strotman was just fired from her job on Thursday, Henrico police arresting her that night. Henrico's Commonwealth's attorney, Shannon Taylor, says the investigation is not over and more charges could come as detectives continue to review NICU video footage.
We will continue to work on building cases if there is evidence present to build other cases to find if there's additional criminal culpability.
Families of some of the young victims from both 2023 and 2024 were present for Strotman's arraignment, seen leaving the courtroom in tears, some hugging each other for comfort.
How sad is that? So sad. I think we pretty much heard, I do have an article on this, but we pretty much heard everything. It's just incredibly sad. Savannah, your thoughts?
I agree, Diva. It's just extremely sad, but it's on a side of evil that we just don't encounter much and we don't think of as humanity. This is absolute evil at its core. Now, this nurse is only being charged with malicious wounding and on one infant. Meanwhile, there were 7 infants, 4 this year and 3 last year. And she's only being charged for harm to one of the infants. Now, I live in the area. I'm about less than 20 miles from Henrico County. This is in Richmond, Virginia, where it is very racially divided. So for them to say that race had nothing to play with it, I don't believe that at all. This is a very young woman. She's only 26, 25, 26. She's been a nurse for less than 5 years. I believe she graduated in 2019. And what prompted the investigation was the mother of one of there was a set of twin babies that were in the NICU in November, and one of the twin babies suffered a broken leg. And the mother of the twin babies, who happens to be a NICU nurse as well, knew that something was not right. And she found the story of this, the incident of 23, and brought it to light of, the investigation of this nurse who was on administrative leave and still being paid by the hospital. So that prompted Child Protective Services to get involved, and then it was leaked. This has been going on since 2023, and they've been under investigation with these reports. I do believe that there's a lot of there's going to be a lot of racial divide with this story that's going to come out. This young lady deserves more than jail time. She deserves to get death penalty, to take advantage, to physically harm the defenseless. And I, like you, Diva, my son was in NICU as well. He weighed just barely under 5 pounds. And so I recall sleeping outside that NICU door, and thank goodness that all my nurses were. And I was 18 in college and had my baby. And I can recall sitting there outside the door, sleeping some nights, and the nurses having compassion with me and with my child. So I hope they sue the crap out of the hospital, her family. And this is a very well-to-do county, so they have the money. I hope all 7 babies, not just one, the other 6, get their due diligence with her. And I hope they put her in general population when she does go to jail. That's what she needs.
Honey, she ain't gonna survive. You know what, Sasuke? I forgot about that story until you reminded me. I'm gonna look it up and see if I can find out, because that was another horrific story. I don't know if y'all remember that. The OBGYN that beheaded the baby and the whole hospital tried to cover it up. My mom told me I was in the NICU. She refused to leave the hospital and slept in the closet. Wow. Yeah. Usually, you know what? NICU nurses in general are usually very caring and kind, but NICU nurses have just a special place in my heart. Anybody that works in an ICU, because ICU is no joke. Whether it's NICU, PICU, or the adult ICU, it's work. You're talking about some very sick patients. But for you to harm, like you said, Savannah, the defenses, the babies, and they were black babies. They could say all they want. They say this wasn't racial. That's because they just trying to avoid. And there's no way, if I was the nurse, they would have suspended me for a year with pay. They would have fired my behind. But Katrina, your thoughts?
Girl, I can't wait till Big Judy get her. Jesus, come on, Big Judy, because baby, you gonna get it. She looks crazy. And it, like you said, it takes a special person to be a nurse. Everybody can't be a nurse. A lot of them get in being nurses because of the money. They want to marry a doctor. Or a lot of them start being nurses just because if they own substances, they can take the patient medicine. This is sad. Do you know the baby already sick because they're in NICU anyway? They already got complications going on, and you adding more complications on top of that. This is ridiculous. Then y'all suspended her and then brought her back, knowing all this happened. Is because of her skin color. Because I think if it was a black person, she would have been gone out the door if she would have did that to a white baby. I'm not racist. I'm just stating the facts. If she would have did that to a white baby, this is ridiculous. The hospital need to be sued. She need to be sued, and I can't wait for Big Judy to get her in that jail cell. I listen, baby, you 26 years old and your life is gone. The same way you did these kids, somebody gonna do you the same way, and it's gonna be worse on you because your bones are more harder than what those little kids' bones were because their bones are soft. So I can't. Oh, I just can't wait for Big Judy to get her. That's all I got.
Thank you. Leo, your thoughts?
This is a sickening story. I had not heard about this. Oh Lord have mercy. This is a sickening story to me. I mean, I got a rock in my stomach. It's hard because I just heard it. I can't metabolize it. It's real hard for me to believe that a nurse would break the bones of a NICU baby. Y'all, that's hard for me to swallow. It's really hard for me to swallow. I don't have no comprehension. I don't have no history to back up any thoughts about this. How do Savannah, you said you followed the story. How do they know this woman did this?
They got cameras, and they're reviewing the cameras to see if she's responsible for anything else too. They're looking at the footage.
So
That is
so that
there's video
so
footage. That is correct.
there's one baby that is video footage that she put her hands on this NICU baby.
No, I think.
Well, the police are now confirming. The law enforcement is now confirming how many infants were harmed. She's only being charged with one now that they clearly have evidence on her harming. There is reports,
That one
but
baby.
the newspaper for she is being charged with one baby. There was reports of 4 babies between November and December 2024, and then 3 babies last year. She was on on site on the schedule every time that these babies were harmed. Diva, the newspaper to that county is called The Independent. I'm gonna put the link in there, but you'll see when she was in court on Friday, one of the parents states that one of the infants suffered 12 fractures.
Oh my God.
Jesus. Jesus. Pass me, Diva. I got to get on mute. I can't.
Yeah. Julius, your thoughts?
Okay, well, not just Big Judy, Big Becky, Big Sue, Big Louise, all of them. They waiting for her. They gonna break her and pass her around like a carton of unseasoned biscuits do. Cause one thing, especially with the women, if you harm the babies, oh, it's on site. It is on site. And the thing about it is, you can feel that father's pain. You can feel that father's pain. In that hospital, ooh, Trump can't help you get out of this because y'all about to lose millions. Millions. And that little old Susie, the 26-year-old nurse, the little old Susie, oh baby, you could forget about being a nurse because your nursing license is revoked. Revoked. And if you don't get any kind of legal justice, listen, hopefully you ain't from a well-to-do family because street justice a thing, honey.
Tay, your thoughts?
I will stick to the same thing about what happened to the other baby during the delivery too, when the young couple lost their baby. With Sasha K talk about that, Diva, that story. How dare they bring this woman back after what she did to that baby right there? My question is, how she broke the bone? That's a good question. Did she drop the baby on the floor? Did she hit the baby on the counter? Or did she just broke it with her hand? Something like that. If I was the hospital, Diva, if I was the boss of the hospital, you know what I'm gonna do, Diva? I'll make sure she ain't going not to work in hospital. I'll make sure they take her license away, and she not gonna get paid after what she did to the babies right there. And she going to jail. Lock the keys forever. And matter of fact, she can sit with that whole she can share the same shell. The shell, you know what I'm talking about, Diva. With that to the doctor who did that to the other baby too. I just don't understand how y'all did not know this woman would do that to a baby, but you just can't have her come back and back again. That don't make no sense to me. Y'all should have fought her at the spot when she did that to the baby. That's all, Diva.
I appreciate you.
Diva, did you know that doctor, he charged the other doctor, the one that decapitated the baby. Don't you know he charged them $2,500 to do an autopsy and had the baby placed with the head back on top of the baby, took a picture of the baby and had it all over the news like the baby was never decapitated. I don't know what happened to him.
The doctor didn't. That's not the doctor who did it. That was the
morgue.
Yeah, but no. The morgue is the one that told her. The morgue. The funeral home was the one that told her something was wrong, something happened. But the doctor was a female OBGYN that decapitated the baby. But it was the guy. I think when they went to do their own autopsy, he is the one that exposed the baby back online and all of that. But I don't want to. I want to stay on track here. Queen Tulsa, what are your thoughts on this story?
Hi, thank you, Diva, for having me and panelists. I'm very frustrated. I'm very frustrated because, for one, Thank God she wasn't in labor and delivery, because we know how, Black women are at a higher risk. Um, so, and then I'm kind of stuck on, you got reports, you let her go and you let her come back. Like, this wasn't, no, she was late, she was not, clocking in or things like that. Like, this was someone's life. This is someone's child. And, when we go to emergency services, we expect to get treated, right? We expect to get our medication and we expect to go home. But to go home with broken bones and you did not come with that, I think that it's very alarming. And this is just opening up a gate to more cases like this. And I think that we all need to kind of pay attention when we are going to the doctors, and keep your phones on. If you notice something out of the way, look for those numbers to call and report. Always get your documentation going. But that's what I have on it. I think it was very disgusting and vile, and she's definitely a gutter snipe.
Yeah, definitely a gutter snipe. I appreciate you. So yeah, but some of those, I think it was Handy B, some of those babies are so fragile that even you just picking them up the wrong way, something can happen. Literally, I've seen in the NICU babies that could fit in your hand, their skin is so transparent, you like see through the skin and you see the veins and stuff like that. This woman was evil. You saw the one video where they showed how little the baby was and how fragile he was. This woman is just evil. And for them, but what is really pissing me off is the fact that this woman got suspended. They don't suspend you for a year over nothing. Usually people may get suspended 2 days, 3 days. They suspended her 1 year and they continue to pay her. So it wasn't even suspension without pay. She had a nice year's vacation with pay, and then they let her come back. No, that hospital needs to go down in the gutter. In the gutter. Yes, she was suspended with pay. With
Miss
pay.
Diva, could I say this right quick? Had it been a Black person,
Child.
cops would have been there. It would have made the news. It would have went really up in flames. If that was a white woman and it was a Black nurse that had did that to her child, oh, everybody was about to know about it. And listen here, she wasn't going to get no paid time off. She was going to take her tail to jail, whether that was going to be a year or not, right?
That part.
Okay.
And the license would have been gone day one
Immediately before the license would have been gone before they went to go talk to her.
That part. And before they looked at the video. This is total insanity. Total insanity. And yes, that hospital is responsible because and then, like the guy said, and you brought her back. But we're going to roll into the next story. I'm going to stay connected to this story to see when this individual goes to court and all of that. So we'll stay connected. I'm going to go ahead and roll right into the next story. And this stalker nightmare. This story is just total insanity. It's the amount of stuff sometimes. It's like one person, they misstep and they up underneath the jail. The next person, they do 100 missteps and they still walk in the street. I just don't understand the craziness sometimes of the way things happen and how things go. Let's get into this story. Let me go back up here. So first we'll watch the video. This man lost his natural mind. He a whole crazy.
Free to play.
Hold on one second. So this is the chilling moment. A stalker armed with condoms hammered at a colleague's door after threatening to R her when she rejected him. Carl Chadge launched a twisted campaign against Grace Smith, despite the pair meeting just 3 times. Okay. The 42-year-old bombarded her with abusive messages and broke into her London home. He also told her boyfriend, Daryl, I'm a gangster. I'll R her in front of you and then blow your head off. Eerie footage shows Chad showing up at Grace's home in the dead of the night and smashing his fist against the front door. The stalker, who had 7 condoms stuffed in his trousers, eventually broke in through the bathroom window and stole her teenage journal. Bid writer Grace has now spoken out after Chad was jailed for 13 years for stalking with fear of violence. The judge branded him dangerous, as he was also sentenced for burglary, criminal damage, and trespassing with the intent to commit a relevant S offense. Grace, 31, said during Carr's campaign of harassment, I felt unsafe and feared for my life, terrified he'd kidnap and arm me. Knowing he is now behind bars gives me some comfort. Thankfully, he's finally off the streets and unable to harm anyone else. The first pair met in October 2022 when Chad joined her workplace, but only occasionally spoke on Microsoft Teams meetings. Grace thought he was a bit of an eyeball and even joked to a pal he was probably a serial unaliver due to his strange demeanor. In May 2023, the co-workers attended a meeting in Birmingham and later made small talk on the train back to London. The pair next met again 2 months later at a team building team meeting where Grace noticed Chad staring at her. But they did not come face to face again until October last year when their team were awarded afternoon tea at the Ritz. Grace said while there, the topic of dating apps came up. I explained to colleagues, that's how I met my boyfriend, Daryl. I noticed Carl's face drop. He seemed disappointed. That's where he broke her bathroom window and got into her home. Grace later handed her colleague her phone number, only for Chad to reveal he had feelings for her. She says she told him she was flattered but in a relationship, which led to a barrage of insults from Chad. The Spartan stalker branded her a below stairs type and accused Grace of leading him on. Chad then ramped up his abuse campaign and even posted a private chat between the pair on his shared work platform. Grace flagged it to her manager, but Chad continued to bombard her with calls and texts, leading the writer to call police. She said, they told me they could charge him with malicious communications if he failed to cease contact, and that was that. During a trip to Prague to attend her cousin's wedding, Chad made a defamatory post on LinkedIn trying to sabotage her job. Terrified, Ray's boyfriend moved in and the couple reported all of Chad's messages to the police, but no action was taken. Obsessed, Chad eventually resigned from the workplace but continued to harass Grace, even sending her a parcel at her home containing an Alexander McQueen purse and a creepy note. This read, I thought we had the potential to develop into a friendship and a relationship one day. That's the note. Aware that Chad now had her address, Grace and boyfriend Daryl practiced karate moves to learn how to defend themselves. They also installed a doorbell camera which captured the stalker prowling around outside before breaking in. Grace said, I arrived home to smashed up pipes, broken windows. My clothes were ripped up and strewn across the garden. Chad was arrested at the scene with 2 glasses and a bottle of wine in his backpack and the condoms in his pocket. As well as a jail sentence, he was also handed an indefinite restraining order banning contact with Grace. She said at his sentencing, I faced him down, bravely read my impact statement, and took back control. Now I want to encourage other survivors of stalking to collate evidence, keep records, listen to your gut. In the end, I was forced to take charge and fight for justice, and I won. That is him. That's Grace. And that's her story. Ooh, child. Katrina, your thoughts?
That's a scary looking man. And if she had a boyfriend, why is she getting this man her phone number anyway? I'm not saying that she did anything wrong. I'm just saying. And you had already said that he looked like he had unalived somebody, like he would unalive somebody. So there's no way he would got my phone number. Um, I'm glad she's safe. And the boyfriend talking about he doing karate moves. What karate moves gonna do against a pow or something like that? Which I'm glad he tried to get self defense or whatsoever. That's a good thing. Um, but that was a maniac, girl. If he did get in that house, I don't know what would have happened because he was on a whole nother level. We seen that he was drinking and had his little wine. So, oh, I'm glad that he didn't get to her.
He got in her house. She was lucky she wasn't home.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm glad he didn't get to her. You know, what I'm saying I'm glad that situation didn't happen. And that's a sad. I mean, that's just crazy. You can't make nobody want you. If they don't want you, they don't want you. Find somebody else. I know his mentality was totally gone, but you still can't make nobody want you. And he looked insane. Even on that door cam, he looked it crazy. So, girl, you did the right thing. The wrong thing you did was give him your phone number. But we're glad you're safe now. He's locked up. Hopefully he'll be behind bars for a long time. But with this justice system, we don't know. Well, he in London. But still, we don't know how soon he would get out. He might not do the full 13 years. But you're safe at this point right now. You're safe. Move somewhere where he don't know where you at. And just stay safe. That's all I
Yeah. Thank you, Tay Tay.
And tell me that how he know where she live at. He probably followed her to home. She probably walk. There's no way I'm getting a guy my phone number. No way I got a boyfriend. I wish he would come over there to my house and break the glass too. I'll throw a grist balls. The grist at him. Kick it to where it's hurt the most at. And use my lamp and hit him in the head. And then call 911. Matter of fact, I'll cuff him, on the chair. Make sure he ain't gonna get up. I wish you would come over here, come to my house like that. That's all, Diva.
Thank you, Julius. Your thoughts?
Now, this is a Nibi situation to be using jujitsu, kaji kempo, any kind of form of MMA. This is what you're supposed to use it for. So they did the right thing in learning the moves and stuff like that. Like Katrina, I do agree she shouldn't have gave him her phone number. But when you think someone is harmless, because I know I have been through something like this, you think they don't turn out to be crazy, but they do. And they think that, oh, well, you're this and that, you think yada yada yada. Whatever other foolish delusions they make up in their head. The person is unhinged. And hopefully Bubba, Bobby, Jason, Hunchback, whoever it is over there in London, Bernard, Harold, they all giving him a lesson in the joint. That's it, that's all.
Thank you, Cream Tosa.
Yeah, this is very disturbing. To say the least, it started off in the workplace. They met about 3 times, you said, and she had reported it to the job. I want to know what did HR say about that, and did she, file a complaint with them? Because I would have went immediately to my therapist and said, hey, this is what's going on. How can you get me out of work? Because they're not trying to do anything from it, do anything to keep me from being harassed. And then I'm going to speed it up to when he showed up at the house. When I heard those aggressive knocks, oh, baby, now it's time to go get the what. And then when he had did that kick, that would have been time for me to go ahead and lay him on now and
She was
take him on.
fortunate though, Tosa. She wasn't home. Her and the boyfriend wasn't
Oh,
home.
she wasn't home. Oh,
Home. Which
baby.
was very fortunate though, because God
Yes.
knows what could have happened. They wasn't home.
Yeah, because karate wasn't gonna work. We already know karate wasn't gonna work. All right, that's all I have.
Thank you. Leo?
According to the article, they met on Teams. And so we do Teams at my job, which is kind of like Zoom. And if you do Teams from your job on your phone, your telephone number shows up. So that's how he got the number. It's like she gave him the number, but you have everybody's number on Teams. So that's how he was able to get her number. She didn't say like, I'm giving you my number because we co-workers and we friends. When we do Teams and you do Teams on your phone, everybody's number shows up.
No, but it said in the article, I think it was like the third meeting is when he actually got the number. They was at another it was at another event.
Okay.
They was at like a tea for the job, like at the Ritz, yeah.
Oh, at the Ritz, he got the telephone number.
Uh-huh. And
remember dating apps had come up?
Yeah, dating apps had come up. Yep. I think that's why he wanted to say you was leading me on. I don't know what made him get the number. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, fools gonna do what fools do. Because I was stalked for like 6 years, and it's a terrible like experience that you go through, and you don't ever really get over. And so I'm glad that my stalker never went to jail, but I'm glad her stalker went to jail. And in London, the thing that she need to be grateful for was, one, she was not there, and two, you don't run around with pals in London. Like in the UK, pals, the only people got pals is the police. Very rarely people get pals in the UK. They don't have the Second Amendment that you have the rights to arms. That's one thing too. And I'm glad that she wasn't there, and I'm glad she took it seriously. And just like Tulsa said, the company did not take it seriously, the threats that he was, because she met him on the job. And that's a problem. I met my stalker on the job too. And so it's an experience that these people show up when you ain't thinking about them. Like, they show up and keep showing up no matter what. My stalker stalked me for 6 years. For 6 years. So she got the good end of the deal. She got the good end of the deal, because that was a straight up fool right there. My family, my boyfriend, everybody, circled around me and gathered him together. And I ain't gonna share no details here on the YouTube, but he got gathered together. But had it not been for them, he still would have been stalking me, because they are relentless. They are relentless in their psychosis.
That's why, but you could kind of tell at that door, because he was kicking it. He was determined. He was getting through that door that night.
They relentless. Like, reason doesn't even come to their brain. Thank God she's safe though. But girl, when he get out, he gonna still stalk her again.
Oh my God. At least they did provide her with an indefinite, even though he's locked up, an indefinite restraining order. But yeah, he's cuckoo. You could tell. Savannah, your thoughts?
That video was extremely scary, especially from a woman's point of view. That man is dangerous and unpredictable, and no amount of karate lessons or jujitsu or even a restraining order that is just simply a piece of paper is going to stop him from getting to what his goal is. He's not done with her. He will be back. It's unfortunate, and I agree with Queen Tulsa. She should have. Hopefully, she did go back to HR, and she has a case of a hostile work environment here. And it's unfortunate, but she's going to have to now change her life. She cannot continue in the same routine. He knows where she lives. He knows her phone numbers. He's going to continue trying to get access to this young lady. So she's going to have to change her life, move out of the country, change her name. Don't do social media. 13 years, and I don't know anything about London laws, but 13 years, he might do 6, 7, I guess, and be out. It's still enough time for him to find her, because this man was clearly obsessed, and that's scary. That is simply scary.
Thanks, Savannah. All right, we're going to go ahead and close out with this last story, and I'm going to give you the cliff notes on it. This Michael Rubin, he's a big deal, and he started throwing white parties. He started throwing white parties. I mean, I'm trying to use my wording right. So white and wrong. Michael Rubin's famous annual white party canceled forever, he said. Forever. At the Diddy similar soirees ruined the theme. Listen, don't blame it on Diddy, because if you're doing the right thing at your party, you should still be able to throw your party. The summer's hottest Hamptons ticket is no more. I'm talking everybody who was anybody was at this Michael Rubin party, and the one he had in 2024, the people raved about it. So Michael Rubin's infamous annual white party has been canceled. At the Diddy similar bashes ruined the theme. The U.S. Sun can exclusively report. An insider with ties to the annual A-list summer soiree claimed the Fanatics businessman decided to pull the plug on the big event. And he's married. So Michael and his people thought the white party couldn't get any bigger than it already is. And they wanted to end it on a high note, the insider told the U.S. Sun. Plus, they are now looking to focus more on charitable events. It's the biggest celebrity party of the year, so it's a big deal. They're ending it. But they also wanted to end it before it got corny. It was also getting completely out of control with people trying to snag an invite. Diddy did it. Apparently, those weren't the only reasons Michael opted to stop hosting the hottest celebrity function of the summer. The other thing to think about is how the Diddy white parties has given the theme such a bad stigma after everything that came out this past year, the insider added. Michael has thrown a white party every year at his home since 2021. He purchased the Bridgehampton Party Palace in 2020. But a second source familiar with the party said there was never going to be a party this summer. So they say. I think they did cancel because of Diddy. But you know what? If you smart and you read the room, you smart and you have read the room. The plan has always been to rotate to reform charity event and his summer party so there aren't two in the same year. The source claimed the First Reform Alliance fundraiser raised more than $24 million in 2023 and is slated to return in September of this year. Plus, the Fanatics Fest now moving to June this year. That party was never on the schedule for 2025, the source added. The source claimed it was also the plan to cancel the white party long before accusations around Diddy past parties tainted the theme. Coveted invite. The billionaire businessman started throwing his white party in the Hamptons on July 4, 2021. Even the invites for the coveted event were extra luxurious and over the top. In 2024, the famous white party invites was handmade by Michael's good friend, the renowned artist George Condo, per page 6. The stunning 300-person guest list received custom black and white invites. The largest celebrities like Kim Kardashian and Tom Brady received personalized invites hand-colored by the artist. The invites were individually numbered, signed, and reportedly worth $35,000. At the 2023 bash, Kim and Tom were even reported to be flirting and dancing together. Kim also attended in 2024 alongside sister Khloe. Sinister claims Diddy's annual white party, which ended in 2009, have certainly tarnished the theme. Diddy has become infamous for two types of parties: his elite celebrity-packed white parties and his darker freak-offs. According to the lawsuit cited by the New York Times, the music mogul's white party faced similar allegations of drugs and sex trade in his freak-offs as his freak-off parties. In a lawsuit filed in July of 2024 by Andrea English, but we know about her. I don't want to go through all the Diddy stuff again because that's pretty much how they end this. But the point is that, Michael said no more white parties. That's Michael right there, because, he just feels like Diddy tainted the white party name. Katrina, your thoughts?
There's nothing wrong with having parties. It's what you do at these parties. You know what I'm saying, girl. Um, if he don't want to have any more white parties, okay, oh well. So what are you saying your white parties is associated with Diddy? Was you doing the same things at your white party as Diddy was doing at his? Because it wouldn't matter to me if Diddy stopped doing white parties and I'm not doing anything wrong. I wouldn't stop my white parties. So there's a reason why you stopping your white parties. And what is that reason? Um, all I can say is these people gonna do what they want to do anyway, regardless of what we say, how we say it, when we say it. They still gonna do that, gonna still live their life, even if they have to live it under the radar. If he's not having any more parties, all well and good. Donate that money to charity. That's all I got, Diva.
Thank you. Tay Tay?
Well, I agree with Katrina. That's all, Diva.
Thank you. Julius?
Michael, you worry something gonna come out? Hmm. Or was like the comparison too much for you? But your choice is your choice, like Katrina said. Donate the money to charity. That's it. That's
Thank you,
all.
Queen Tulsa.
Yes. I totally agree with Katrina. I just kind of feel like Michael's parties were more upscale. They had the upscale ladies. When I think about upscale and parties and stuff like that, Kim brought Chloe, and we already know what type of time Kim be on. They said that she was on the dance floor dancing with that football player, Tom Brady. Um, I think this was more of a classy party. It wasn't forced. The adult hors d'oeuvres were, out there, and you had a choice at Michael's party. I believe, allegedly, in my brain, in my head, that you didn't really have a choice over at Diddy's. But it's interesting because Chloe and Kim was allegedly at Diddy's parties as well. It's actually been on camera, on film. I think that this is just a way for him to, clear his name. I mean, we already see, how the tables have shifted, um, and the guys are going down. You had Mr. Epstein, Weinstein, Diddy. You got Jay-Z wrapped up in it, and I think that 2024 was just the start of it. I mean, you've got ASAP Rocky in court, so I think this is going to be an interesting year. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming through. Leo, your thoughts?
My thoughts are rich people problems. I don't really care. Had a party, don't had a party. I ain't invited either way. I don't care. Thank you, Diva.
Thank you. Savannah, your thoughts? Savannah, you there? We might have lost Savannah, but listen, guys, I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for coming through. Thank you for being here for Trending Topics. Y'all know the routine. If you didn't hit that like button on the way in, hit the like button on the way out. I will tell you this. I'm going to stay connected to this story because I want to know what ends up happening with this NICU nurse, okay? And everything else, you know, those all are final stories. The stalkers behind jail, in jail behind bars. And Michael Rubin said he is no longer throwing any more parties, no white parties, okay? He's going to do all charity events. Thanks, guys, for being here. I'll see y'all next time. Good night and goodbye, everybody.
Do not treat the devourers right on Choo Choo and BB. Thank you.
Thank you, Tay Tay. Good night, y'all.
Good night.